Like it just flowed through?
Look, you look under the house.
This is why I want to dig the dirt out deeper, because it used to flood all the way up to the beams.
I see, it's a river.
A river coming from what direction?
I see it from there.
You see something in room C.
I see flowing water from D to C.
Good morning, everybody. My friends are over here helping with the construction that we're doing on my house. One of them is painting my front door, or actually my front door frame, and the other one is in room C doing some construction. Construction which was shaking my whole house and making everything fall off of the shelves in my bedroom. I'm going to go into room C right now and get a video of what's being done in there right now. Get ready to see room C. It looks good. The wedges holding the wall up have been removed, but what I'm going to show you is what we were talking about yesterday, or actually the day before yesterday. This board right here, right there, which is now holding up the wall underneath the door frame where there was nothing.
And then this over here.
Oh yeah, that over there. We have to do something though before we put the floor down over all the way to here. We have to take out a little bit more of this dirt. Whoa, I almost fell. Yeah. But that's not too much. He can do that in like 5 minutes.
Well, that's not nailed down or screwed down.
Oh no, I know it's not nailed down. I can tell.
And the other thing is, I might need to cut this to here.
No, you just cut another piece for over there.
I know that, but that's not.
Here, we're gonna have to cut it somehow.
I know. I feel like it needs to be bigger.
That's okay. We can just cut a piece and have the piece go from over there to over there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's big enough, but that wide up there, so it jigsaws together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shift.
Yeah, but then you could put like the wide piece over here and the thin piece over there on the left. Yep. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it
together.
just goes opposite.
Yeah, that would be better than the way it was done in here, or the way it was done in Eugene's room, where it's just like squared down, basically.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be done, is like that.
Alright, I'm going to go out of here now. But yes, it looks good. And you can start to remove screws and move beams and stuff now.
Literally, like, we can throw this floor down.
Yes, we can. We can have it down pretty soon. I do want to dig out the dirt where it's high in a few places, but we can throw down like 90% of it right now.
No, we'll dig and then we'll throw it down because it's easier.
Well, you could like set down a few pieces so we could walk on it.
Yeah.
That would be so much easier. Whoa, the wind blew the door closed. It's incredibly windy today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Wow, people. It's cold out there in room C. And it's really cold outside. I am now back inside my house getting warm in front of the heater. There's Francella rubbing on this mattress. I took the bed sheet off of the mattress to wash it. This is... Sorry, I'm a little out of breath from the cold, actually, now that I'm getting warm. I'm feeling out of breath. This is kind of a dirty-looking mattress, but this is not Eugene's mattress. It's actually a mattress that got kind of messed up that I use as a mattress for the cats. This isn't dirt on it. This is actually dried wood finish. This was the mattress that used to be in Eugene's room before somebody spilled wood finish on it while Eugene was out of town in Tennessee and we were remodeling his room. So it's the cat's mattress now, and none of this stuff is going to wash off. It's like dried on there wood finish. The one we used to finish his laminate floor. Whoa! And we might have a problem. We might not have enough laminate floor to do the floor in room C, which is going to be Eugene's new bedroom eventually, when we move him out of his room and into room C. So we have enough laminate floor to do the room, but we have two different types of laminate floor. So we are short just like a box or two of either type. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm thinking of using the one that we have a little bit more of, and then using some tile that I have outside to make a little tile entranceway so people are stepping onto tile and not directly onto the laminate floor, because it's already messed up in a few places in room D where people walked on it or water came in under the door in the rain, and that happened before we sealed the floor, so it actually got a little bit messed up. You can't really tell now that it's been sealed, but I can show you. If you look at it up close, you can see there's a little bit of water damage to the floor already. It disappoints me, but oh well. It'll be okay now that we've dried it out and painted several layers of sealant over it. But to get it as well sealed as Eugene's room, we'd have to kick over a gallon of wood finish in there and spread it all around. That's what happened in Eugene's room. My friend who was helping me finish the floor put the wood finish down on this bed, and then he stepped on the bed, causing the entire gallon of it to knock over. So there's like literally over a gallon of wood finish on the laminate floor in Eugene's room. It's so well finished that I've only mopped it like once in the last few months since we installed it, because most of the time, even if there's something that looks like a stain that's dried onto the floor, it'll literally vacuum right off the floor because it's so well finished. Wow, Wombat looks really excited. What's going on there, Wombat? Maybe she just wants me to pet her. Yes, she does. She's like, pet me, pet me, pet me. All right, people, I actually need to clean the cat's litter boxes right now. And I have this to help me do it. This is the cat litter scoop I just got off of Amazon.com. For the rare occasions when I do end up using the clumping clay cat litter, this will help to remove the clumps stuck to the bottom of the litter box. I actually read some web pages yesterday with advice on how to scoop your litter box and how to remove clumps of clay cat litter stuck to the bottom of the box. And they actually said things like, use a paint scraper to scrape them off. Use a metal litter box scooper if you have clumping clay cat litter that sticks to the bottom of your cat's litter box. Because I'm sure if you've used clay cat litter, you've experienced having difficulty removing the clumps, and when you go to scoop with the plastic scoop, it starts to break the scoop, or feel like it's breaking your wrist or even your arm, and the clumps are not going anywhere because they are stronger than the strength of the plastic scoop and your arm put together. This will actually make it relatively easy to scrape the clumps off of the bottom of the box. Luckily, I'm out of clumping clay cat litter, and I will not be buying more. But yes, if I ever do have to buy it in an emergency, I will have this to scoop it more easily. Look what I made with those instant noodle soups that I got yesterday. We only had 2 eggs, so my boyfriend made one for himself without egg. This one is for me, and that one is for Eugene. Those are instant noodles with some chopped up steak and poached eggs laid by our own chickens. I like to put this really spicy hot sauce in my soup. Look, Marley is stalking my soup. I practically had to take a shower after eating that soup. It made my nose run so much because of all the hot pepper that I put into it that snot was gushing down my face, and I had to wash my whole face and my arms and everything.
iPhone.
Get it on your phone.
Oh shoot, everything's gotten flooded over here.
We were just informed that there was an emergency in room C. Apparently it's flooding.
Came in.
Like it just flowed through?
Look, you look under the house.
This is why I want to dig the dirt out deeper, because it used to flood all the way up to the beams.
I see, it's a river.
A river coming from what direction?
I see it from there.
You see something in
I
room
see flowing
C.
water from D to C.
What? Whoa, whoa, let me get a close-up of that. Shine the light there.
Dude, it's coming in from over there.
Shine the light straight. It's like a waterfall coming down. I'm walking the plank here, people, to get a good video clip of this. Shine the light right there. Do you see the waterfall coming into room
Is
C?
that coming from Jimbo's property?
I don't know where it's
Somehow?
coming from. I'm falling. Look at this, people. I'm falling. I fell. I'm in the wet mud.
So how are you gonna fix that?
I don't know.
Let's install a kiddie pool.
Let's install a water
Throw fish in
pump.
there for the cats to, catch fish.
The water pumping out like
I heard mud,
that way.
Mud bath is supposed to be good for you.
This is a cold one.
It really isn't funny though.
It's not funny, but it is. I mean, come on.
Put a heater in there and just.
And this started like right when the
some of
torrential
it's coming
downpour
from there,
started,
too.
didn't it? That's where the mold is in the corner right there. That's probably
I was
why
in
it's
here,
molding.
like,
I literally
oh,
see
I
like
hear it,
water
I hear it.
flowing.
Take a video. Get
I'm
closer.
still taking a video. I've been videotaping this
To
whole
the left, To
time.
the left.
Don't drop your phone.
My foot is like in the water.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's like
Oh my
seriously,
God,
what
what's
the fuck?
underneath room D?
Why is there
a lake?
so much water coming this way?
Is there a lake?
Let's
over
go
there?
outside and see if we can see anything.
Holy shit! I'm gonna get my headlamp. I'm gonna get like up.
I see a toothbrush.
Shine the light more straight.
It looks like it's coming out of a rat hole. It is.
I think that's like an industrial brush.
And then he was coming from the wall in a couple places.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just prop them up so they can dry. Wow. Our construction really got stopped by rain today. Look at the door frame behind me. My friend had to stop painting it because of the rain. See that? Now I'm going to go back into room C because I thought they were following me out of there and they stayed in there. I'm gonna see what's going on in room C now.
Look, it's flowing in even as you're here now.
So this water filled up in just like 10 minutes. It was dry, then 10 minutes later it was wet or flooding.
Yeah, I guess just like the ground reached its point where it couldn't hold any more water over there.
What really what I noticed, it was coming under the wall.
At first.
Maybe
And
it's
then all of a
because my
sudden-
neighbor's driveway is paved over
And
there.
then it just fucking
And the water
broke
runs
loose.
off of it, then under my house.
That rat hole just broke loose.
I'm yet again getting warm in front of the heater with my warm cats. Getting on my lap. Come on, get on my lap to help keep me warm. You've got to see what I'm seeing right now. Here's a close-up. It's raining. It's pouring rain. And the rain is getting heavier. My boyfriend is going to take Eugene on a ride in the car.
And I want that. I love you, Mama. I
I
love
love you too.
I forgot you don't have to hold it up.
Well, I guess our construction got canceled for the day. My boyfriend is about to take Eugene for a ride in the car. He's going to drive my friends home who've been helping
Make sure I
with
got
the construction
everything.
today. And then they're going to go to the store really quickly. The defroster is broken. Hey, don't bite my finger. Ow, that really hurt. The defroster, as I was saying, is broken on my new car. I did say I had enough money to buy a car. I did not say I had enough money to buy a fully functioning car in perfect, pristine condition. So I got a car that needs some repairs, but at least it runs. However, it is very difficult for me to drive it in this rain because you have to constantly wipe the window or have the windows open. So my boyfriend is giving my friends home a ride today instead of me. I gave him a ride yesterday in the rain and I was able to drive the car. It actually handled very well in the rain, even around curves, but it was very, very annoying. and we literally used up like a whole roll of paper towel in just like a 20-minute drive. So that definitely needs to be fixed before I drive the car any long distance, which I may have to do because it turns out that I may not be able to get the sealant, the epoxy sealant that I need for my living room floor, or the kind of toilet I want, which is a hidden trapway toilet, in this area. And I was going to order the toilet online, but because of my bad experience with ordering sinks online, I've decided I really need to see the toilet in person before I buy it. Also, some of these toilets actually have an opening in the back, and having an opening in the back defeats the purpose of having a hidden trapway, because then dirt can get in that opening, which is also very difficult to clean. Possibly more difficult to clean than the visible trapway on my current toilet. So, I want to drive to an area with larger stores or more of a variety of stores, either Crescent City, where there's a big Home Depot, Reading, where there's Home Depot and maybe even a Lowe's and a few other big hardware stores, or like Santa Rosa or south, maybe even all the way to San Francisco, where there are certainly an abundance of stores that sell like everything you need for remodeling houses. They may be more expensive than they are here in the Bay Area, but at least they will have what I need. And getting something that's more expensive, but having to buy it once, would probably be less expensive than getting something cheap and having to replace it or repair it over and over. So my drive out of the area will happen as soon as the defroster gets fixed on the car. Of course, I need my hands to drive. If I lose a finger before then, somebody else may have to go get the toilet and the epoxy sealant. Somebody else instead of me. I think I might be about to lose a finger. People, I've got to explain to you why I am so irritated. Just a little while ago, my friend and I were having an argument. He was saying that we were digging out too much dirt, and I had told him to replace the wood that he took out from under the wall, and I was trying to explain to him why it would be a bad idea to have the wall held up by the subfloor. He was saying that it would be more stable if it was held up by the subfloor, and that we were taking out too much dirt, and all the dirt we were taking out was destabilizing the room. I tried to explain to him that it floods under my house, and that when it floods, if the water comes up high enough to wet the subfloor, and it rots the subfloor between the beam and the wall, where the subfloor is the only thing holding the wall up, that could cause the wall to collapse. He was like, no, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, no, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. Then I came inside. I told my boyfriend to go out there and explain it to him. My boyfriend was about to go out there and explain it to him when him and his wife came running in, screaming that the room was flooding. Well, now they understand why I thought we had to take out more dirt, and why I wanted real wood holding up that wall, not just a piece of subfloor made of plywood jammed in there. Because the reason we had to replace the floors in that room in the first place is because the water was flooding underneath the room, coming up so high that it was wetting the subfloor. And whenever somebody built the room, instead of building the wall and then putting the subfloor in on either side in room C and D, they put the subfloor in, then built the wall on top of it. And when that plywood got wet, it rotted and turned to mush. So when we were replacing the floor in room D, we had to deal with pulling out that mush and sticking in wood on the room D side to hold that wall up. I wanted to do the same thing on the room C side. My friend didn't understand it, now he does. Anyway, they've been gone for about 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna go back into room C and see if there's more water in there now. Oh no. It's been like maybe 10 more minutes as I just came in here actually to take a picture of this to send it to somebody, but look at this. The water is now actually touching the housing blocks. And those housing blocks are supposed to be sitting on dry dirt. And as you can see, it is still flowing in. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely horrible. It was raining so hard outside that I didn't want to walk outside, so I walked through the back door out of Eugene's room into room C. I am now going to carry my shoes, my terribly muddy shoes, through Eugene's room so I don't get his beautiful new floor muddy. I thought that by tomorrow or the next day we would have a beautiful new floor in room C, but as you can see, that's not going to be happening. That's not going to be happening until we dig out way more dirt and until we find a way to pump the water out or stop it from coming in. So now we're going to have to dig out the dirt even more, but that's not the worst part. A few years ago, a contractor poured a fake concrete foundation, basically. I'm not even sure what to call it. Oh no, Fluffy fell behind. She's back out now. Hi, Fluffy. Look what Fluffy's doing. These cats, they love to bite me. They don't have enough cat toys, so they use me as a cat toy. Actually, they've got plenty of cat toys. They just like to bite. That's probably why I have them. I have several cats that people have given up because they were too aggressive, or because they sprayed, or had other behavior problems. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. A contractor poured what I call a fake concrete foundation because he poured like a really thin strip of concrete going all the way around the outside of room C and D that kind of goes under the wall a little bit, but because they did it when the floor was actually installed in room C and D, which was the old subfloor, which was covered in linoleum that we ripped out a few months ago, when the contractors poured the concrete, they just kind of made a little indent into the mud and made it go over and kind of under the house, and they poured the concrete and it never properly dried. So basically all of that wet, never fully dried concrete going all the way around both rooms is going to have to be jackhammered out, or, you know, dug out by hand and chipped away by hand, because it might be like soft enough that a jackhammer would be ineffective, but hard enough that it would be very difficult to break into a lot of little pieces. So we basically might need to find the places where it's already cracked, dig out all around it, and then take it out in large chunks. Either way, any way we do it, it's going to be majorly difficult. And then we're going to have to pack in dirt around the foundation blocks, because for years they've been surrounded by that wet concrete with mud underneath them. We're going to have to like pack in gravel and dry dirt and do something to prevent water from flowing in there and getting it that wet again. That's what a contractor told us to do, and we haven't done it, and we're going to need to do it. I was hoping to be able to do it after we had finished those rooms and do it from the outside. Since it was installed from the outside, we should be able to remove it from the outside. It might be better to do it while the floor is taken out in there so we can see the concrete from the outside and the inside, but that concrete's going to have to go. It's one of the reasons that that room is flooding so badly. If you're taking a house that's on blocks and changing it to a concrete foundation, you're not supposed to just pour a thin strip of concrete around the foundation blocks. You're supposed to lift up the whole house, pour the foundation, then set the house back down. That's the other problem with my house, is that the whole house was built on foundation blocks, but then the living room was built as an extension in the 80s with a concrete subfloor. And then 3.5 years ago, contractors poured the concrete strip around room C and D in an attempt to stabilize them, which actually made it worse, but it did something else. Now, those two rooms are basically rooted to the ground by concrete. My living room, which is behind me right here, is really rooted to the ground by concrete, but the rest of the house is still up on foundation blocks, which means in an earthquake, this part of the house would want to freely move around on the blocks, and room C and D and my living room would be held down, and that could cause my entire house to break in half. It would be better if either the entire house was actually on a proper concrete foundation, or if the entire house was up on foundation blocks. If it was on a concrete foundation, the worst thing that could happen in an earthquake, other than the house collapsing, would be cracking the concrete foundation. If it was on foundation blocks, the worst thing that could happen, other than the house collapsing, would be the house falling off the foundation blocks. either of those problems would be easier to fix than half of the house freely moving and ripping away from the other half that's rooted to the ground, or the middle of the house ripping away from like the two sides there and there that are rooted to the ground. So basically, the easiest way to make my house all move the same and all stay together during an earthquake would be to remove the concrete that's poured around the foundation blocks in room C and D, and remove the concrete subfloor from the living room behind me, replace it with a wood subfloor, and put the whole living room up on foundation blocks like the rest of the house. That would probably make my house more earthquake safe than putting the entire thing on a foundation, because like I said, in an earthquake the house would be like freely moving side to side or up and down, just resting on the blocks. So the worst thing that could happen is it falling off the blocks. It would actually probably be more likely to collapse if it was rooted to the ground than if it was on blocks that it could just fall off of. I'll actually show you where my house moved an inch over on its foundation blocks in an earthquake about 10 years ago, and I'll show you why that's causing problems now. So years ago, the house used to come out to here. This piece of wood was like lined up with that wood. In an earthquake, the house jumped an inch that way. But because the living room, which is behind this shelf of stuff behind me, was rooted to the ground by the concrete subfloor, and the rest of the house was not, my house moved more that way on that end of it than it did here, leading to this entire wall being slightly warped. It caused all of my doors in my entire house to have to be readjusted. Gosh, I'm cold, and it's pouring rain out here. I'm gonna go inside and finish the rest of the story inside. I was gonna try to get a video clip of some of the other foundation blocks to show you that my house had moved more in this direction at this end than it did at the end closer to where it's connected to the concrete subfloor in the living room. So basically, if it had been a more severe earthquake, it would have ripped my house in half. Hopefully you understand now. If you don't understand, tell me in the comments and I'll get a better video of what the problem is when it's not pouring rain, windy, and very cold. I noticed something wrong with New Moon, and you can actually see it right now. It's that claw, that overgrown claw that the vet clipped back like 6 months ago. It's grown back. I'm gonna have to clip back her claw. Right now, New Moon is eating a can of Fancy Feast shrimp feast. I'm still giving her a few extra cans of cat food a day to try to get her to gain weight. Look at that. I know how to clip it back because I saw the vet do it the last time. So I'm going to do it this time rather than paying the vet a lot of money to do it. But look at that. See, here's her normal claw. She won't let me touch her other claw. I'll show it to you later. We're about to eat dinner. Check out what we're going to have for dinner. We will be having a delicious sun-dried tomato and spinach pizza. Oh no, Wombat is stuck to my shirt. She's falling down, she's still stuck. After we eat dinner, my boyfriend is going to go into room C and try to shovel out more dirt so the water doesn't flood all the way up to the support beams. People, right after we ate dinner, my boyfriend and I both fell asleep. It is now like 2 or so in the morning. I guess he's gonna have to go out to room C in the morning and try to dig out the dirt. Although my friends are showing up really early in the morning, so they might dig out the dirt before he wakes up. They're supposed to start working when they show up, whether we're awake or not. My boyfriend did do one thing before he fell asleep though. He put the fire alarm, my new fire alarm, up on the ceiling right next to where the old one used to be, in the hallway. He also put one up in Eugene's room that I'm not going to get a video clip of right now because Eugene is asleep in there and I don't want the light to wake him up. And one in my bedroom as well. Anyway, I am now going to go to sleep. I'm very tired and I want to be awake in the morning. Not only to supervise the construction, but also to videotape it. I want to be awake when my friends get here. So, good night, people. Please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.